What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers look to bounce back, get things back on track against the Toronto Raptors today. You cannot lose to the Toronto Raptors. You have two games coming up against Toronto and then the Detroit Pistons. These are the two games to get the ship back straight. This is your opportunity to kind of work through what you need to work through so that we can get ready for that Memphis game on the road and close out this road trip strong. Said that the Lakers would go 3-2 on this road trip and need to see them win the next three games if that is going to come to fruition. We got through the first 5 games, right? You had some highs, you had some lows, got a little bit of everything, right? You got the start to finish win on opening night, then you got the 20-point comeback, then you got the solid closeout, tight game down the stretch. Lakers end up closing it out, gets the Kings. Then you had the you should have won, but you kind of chalk it up. LeBron James was sick, had probably one of the worst games we've seen in a long time from him. It was a tight game on the road, first road game. Chuck it up, right? Then you have the game where you just get dominated and ran through. You didn't play the right way. You had almost as many turnovers as you did assists. They had 20 turnovers with 21 assists. Just about as bad of a game as you can play, right? Get in the film room, work through, go over what you need to go over. I trust JG Redick and this coaching staff. They're very prepared. They're very attention to detailed. I imagine that they're going to go over and flush out everything that needs to flush out. Now you got these 2 games to start getting these things back in order, get things back on track. You're playing a Toronto Raptors team that was bad with Scotty Barnes and now doesn't have Scotty Barnes. So you have no excuse to lose this game. You need to go in, you need to take it serious. You need to make sure you're handling business and pulling out that win, right? Now, all of a sudden, you get things back, you're feeling good again, things are great. Lakers are now 4-2 through the first 6. Then you go to that Detroit game. Detroit just beat, was it Philly? Right? Like, finally got their first win. Right? But you go and handle business against them. All of a sudden, you're 5-2 heading into that Memphis game, right? It's what we need to see. I really want to see the Lakers be, 7-3 at worst through the first 10 games. Really start to make a statement. Really start to show like, hey, we're different. This team is different. Look, Lakers clearly still need trades. They're clearly still not like a top contender, in my opinion, at least from what we've seen through the first 5 games. Obviously, things can change. Obviously, trades can happen. Obviously, this team could, spark something, figure some stuff out. You got to remember, this is just the beginning stages of this team. Brand new. I know the team itself is on paper the same, but it's not. Right? I mean, you're implementing an entirely new, intricate offense. They're not just running like sets every possession. They're running like detailed, actions layered on top of each other. Like this is a very sophisticated offense. You know that there's going to be hiccups. You know that there's going to be hurdles. We talked about it before the season even began. That the Lakers were going to have these moments. Lakers are going to have times where it just doesn't look too great. They're going to have a lot of turnovers, which is expected, right, early on. I'd rather this now through the first 5, 7, 10 games than game 50 or game 60. Bad games happen, outliers happen. It's fine. There's probably be another game at some point where the Lakers lose by 20. Everybody does. I mean, Boston's had bad games, right? Boston has had game last season, even when they won the championship, we're up 30 and lost, right? Like, so those type of things happen. It's okay. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Doesn't mean Chicken Little, the sky is falling, right? It just, you gotta work through what you need to work through. You gotta better balance out. Toronto Raptors, look, everyone wants to beat the Lakers. Toronto's a bad basketball team, but guess what? They're going to show up for the Lakers. And they're a team that would love to watch the Lakers walk out of there with a loss and then get their second win, right? They're still NBA players. They still want to win games. They still believe that they can win games. And if you allow these teams to instill that confidence, then you could have a long night. Right? Lakers, I still worry about the defense. Defense is a big concern with this Lakers team. I talked about it in the offseason. Lakers are going to be a top 5 offense, in my opinion. I really do. I think they already are like top 4, I believe, right now, thus far. No, it's early, but I don't think that that's going to change. I think that they're going to be a very good offense. They're going to be a top 5 offense. They're like 4th in paint scoring, right? I think that, you're going to see things start working out. It's only up from here just because, again, this team's going to get more comfortable, more acclimated, The coaching is going to get better, is going to have better understanding, better kind of feel for their players. You're going to get guys like, hopefully, Jared Vander Bel comes back and stays healthy, right? Christian Wood, I am incredibly excited for Jared Vander Bel. Don't get me wrong. Christian Wood is the guy that has the potential to solve, like, a lot of our problems, right? Because, one, our bench is atrocious. Our bench is terrible. You're relying on a rookie, and yes, a third-year player, but he might as well be a rookie, to be your two best players off the bench every night. It's not good. Christian Wood comes back. He's a guy that has proven and has done it on several teams where he can go get you 17 and 6 off the bench. He's also the closest thing we have to like an Anthony Davis, not in the sense of like he's as good as Anthony Davis or anywhere close to as good as Anthony Davis, but in the sense of like he's the only big guy we have, even though he's like 6'8", 6'9". He's the only like big guy that can play the center, play the power forward position, that can do a lot of the same stuff, and you can run a lot of the same actions with that you do with Anthony Davis. You can run the pick and pop, you can run the pick and roll, you can put him screen and roll action, you can dump the ball down to him and he can make plays out of the post. Right? He can be out and at the 3-point line and be a part of those dribble handoffs, but still be a threat. Like where Jackson Hayes, like teams aren't worried. Teams just sag off and let him hand it off and then just make the adjustment, make the move, right? Where if you have Christian Wood, you got to press up on that because, he comes, he hands off, player comes around, he's standing there at the top of the 3-point line. That guy doesn't come and help. That's an easy just bounce pass to, back, boom, catch, shoot, knock down, right? Like, so I think Christian Wood is going to open and unlock a lot for this Lakers team. I think, especially with JJ Redick, I think he'll better utilize and put Christian Wood in better position to have success. So I'm really excited for him. Obviously, I'm very excited for Jared Vander Bel. I don't want that to be undersold, right? Jared Vander Bel solves a lot of the Lakers' issue with help with rebounding, which the Lakers have been a very good rebounding team this season, very good. You've seen Rui, Austin Reeves. That needs to continue. Got to win those rebound battles. Got to take care of the basketball, right? Touch on that here in a moment, but I just want to finish up my Jared Vander Bel statement is that, Jared Vander Bel, he comes in, gives you that elite defense. I do think at some point he needs to be injected into the starting unit. I think at some point, not saying immediately or anything like that, because you want him to kind of get his legs under him. He hasn't played in like a year and a half, right? Like, he played a couple games here and there, but for the most part, he's coming in off of 2 foot surgeries. So, you want to make sure you don't just like put too much on his plate all at once. You want to allow him to kind of get back to being Jared Vander Bel. Once we start seeing, Jared Vander Bel's looking like the Jared Vander Bel we know and love, I think at some point you're probably going to have to start him in the starting unit just to give that unit better balance on the offensive and defensive side. Plus, I think Jared Vander Bel, with his size, his length, his foot speed, I think him kind of slipping and being the screen setter and rolling to the basket, being in the dunker spot at times, being able to come off of those corners to help with rebounding and just putbacks and keeping the offense alive, those type of things I think he's really going to benefit from, particularly with this style of offense. I mean, look at how Jackson Hayes has looked, right? Like Jared Vander Bel give you a lot of those things. Obviously, he's not like the 3-point shooter that we need, but he's the guy that come in and really make an impact. But we got to keep doing the good, right? We got to keep rebounding, moving the basketball, player motion, player. You've seen clear in the games that they've won and the games that they've lost, right? The games that they won, they're getting 30-plus assists. They're getting good quality looks. Even in that first game against Minnesota, they couldn't buy a bucket to save their lives, right? I mean, they were terrible offensively. But they played the right way. They're moving the basketball, sharing the basketball, buying in on the defensive side, right? Rebounding, doing the little things, doing the dirty work. When you do all those things, even when you have bad shooting nights, you're still in position, right? You look at the recent game against the Cavs. It really boiled down to lack of ball movement. There was several things, but really lack of ball movement and turnovers were the biggest keys. If you got half the turnovers, it's a different game. You're in position to win that game rather than getting blown out. Right? They had something like 35 points or something like that off of turnovers for the Lakers. Right? Like you cut that in half, right? Instead of losing by 20, it's a 3-point game late. It's a completely different game. Now you're in it to where you can kind of close down the stretch. Now you're in it to where, you might actually have a chance to pull it off, right? You get a couple more assists. If instead of 21 assists through, the first 4 quarters, right? Say 5 minutes left, you have 25 assists. All of a sudden, you're winning. Again, if you cut the turnovers in half, right? All of a sudden, you're up, 2 points or a point, right? And now, again, it's a completely different game. But when you don't play the right way, you don't take care of the basketball, you can't hit shots, right? You start stacking all these things. It's no wonder they got blown out by 20, right? Share the basketball. Play the right way. We got to stop with the isolation. Lakers really fell into that isolation trap and played right into Cleveland's hand. Cleveland had 37 assists. They played the right way. 12 turnovers, 37 assists. Guess what? They blew us out. If Lakers had 30-plus assists, they win every time. Every time I'm guess what? Lakers have 32 assists. They win. All of them. Right? Because they're playing the right way. They're sharing. They're moving the basketball. They're keeping the defense on their toes rather than making it easier to guard. Right? We got to play the right way. You got the Toronto Raptors. You got the Detroit Pistons. Obviously, take a game at a time. Handle business against Toronto. Start getting things back on track. You had a 2-game hurdle. Hurt. Sucked. It's frustrating. It's annoying. But bounce back. Right? Every loss, you need 4 wins, right? So you just got 2 losses. I need to see you rattle off, 7 out of your next 8, something like that, right? Or, 8 out of your next 10. Let's go. Let's get back on track. And I believe the Lakers will. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion and I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, Lakers, they'll get back on track. They'll use these 2 games, kind of get things in order. You think, Lakers cook. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.